All right, so get this, right. Austin's just gotten this supposedly like HOT new restaurant Ethos. And it's got this totally bizarre menu. We're talking like hamburger bouquets, croissant hippos,
Wow.
like the whole 9 yards, right? They even have Jeff Bezos as a guest bartender.
Really?
Yeah,
As a bartender?
as a guest bartender.
Wow, that's wild.
But, okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
Ethos doesn't actually exist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's completely fictional.
Really?
It's all AI.
Huh.
Yeah, like insanely realistic food photos, though, on their Instagram. Like, it's really something.
So that explains the Bezos cameo.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense.
It's a great example of how AI can, like, really blur those lines between what's real and what's, fabricated.
Yeah, it's getting hard to tell these days.
Oh, totally. And according to this Forbes article we've got, people were actually trying to make reservations at this place.
Wow.
There's even a chat bot posing as the, like, general manager.
Oh, and branded merchandise and everything.
Oh, my gosh.
So is it a social experiment? Is it a commentary? Is it a marketing ploy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it really kind of highlights this point, right?
Yeah.
That AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's just a tool.
It's true. It's how people use it,
It's all about how it's used and kind of who's wielding it.
Exactly.
And to what end.
Right.
It's like that thing a few years back. Remember that TripAdvisor shed?
So, yeah.
Where somebody made a garden shed, the top-rated restaurant in London.
With fake photos and everything.
Yeah.
Glowing reviews.
Using like fake photos in reviews.
Yeah.
And it was just a garden shed.
I mean, it really showed how easily, we can be, like, tricked online.
Totally.
Yeah.
And AI just adds another layer to that. You know what I mean?
For sure. For sure.
It makes it even harder to figure out what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
Like, who's to say what's a 5-star review these days?
Right. Exactly. But this goes beyond just, like, tricking foodies, right? This ethos thing. And this got me thinking about, like, the bigger implications for AI in other industries, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like marketing, for example. How can it be used to, say, address inclusivity challenges?
Oh, that's a great point. And it's something that AI has huge potential in, actually.
Right.
Just like it can create those, like, hyper-realistic food photos. It can also analyze, aspects of diversity that we don't always see.
Right.
In those traditional marketing campaigns.
Yeah, totally.
So there's a lot of potential there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we can all tell when an ad just feels, like, off, right?
Totally.
Like, it's not speaking to us.
Yeah.
Or it's just ignoring us completely.
I mean, it's like, who are you talking to?
Exactly. But now there are tools that can actually measure that,
Yeah.
To put actual data behind it.
It's true. It's true.
That's where the CME index comes in, right?
Exactly.
It uses AI to analyze, like, marketing materials, specifically for inclusivity.
For inclusivity.
They use this really cool tech, too, called computer vision, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
What does that even mean, though? Like, what does that actually do?
So basically, it breaks down, like, the visuals, right, of the marketing. So, like, think about, a TV ad or, like, a spread in a magazine. It can actually analyze, like, how much screen time different identities are getting.
So it's not just about, like, are there diverse faces present? It's like, okay, are they actually getting any screen time?
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's a deeper level of analysis for sure. And it goes beyond just the visuals, too. They use what they call knowledge extraction, which basically analyzes the text as well. So it's looking at, like, are different identity dimensions even being mentioned?
Oh, interesting.
And how are those identities talked about in relation to social issues and things like that?
It's not just about, like, checking boxes.
Exactly. It's about nuance.
Yeah.
It's about, like, how are these identities actually being portrayed?
Exactly.
Just the message.
And the article mentioned some really interesting findings, right? About skin tone and screen time in beauty ads.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So the CME index found this, like, really striking correlation. For every shade darker a person's skin tone is, and they use this thing called the Monk skin tone scale.
Okay.
Which we can get into.
Yeah.
But for every shade darker, they lose 1 full second of screen time.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Monk skin tone scale.
Yes, sorry. So that's basically, it's just a more nuanced way of, like, classifying skin tone.
Gotcha.
It considers a much wider spectrum, which allows for a more accurate analysis.
Okay. So somebody with the lightest skin tone could be in a beauty ad for, like, 12 seconds,
Right.
but somebody with a deep scare tone might only get like 3
Exactly.
because they're losing a second per skin tone.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive difference.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. And it just, it really highlights how biases, even unconscious ones, are like baked into those decisions that are being made.
Yeah.
About like who's being cast, how the filming's happening, the editing.
Yeah.
It's really eye-opening.
Wow.
And it's not just in the beauty industry.
Yeah.
The Seaman Index found like similar patterns across other industries too,
Interesting.
showing that, for example, people with larger bodies are consistently underrepresented,
Really?
especially those who also identify with other marginalized groups.
It's like all of our societal like defaults, right?
Yeah.
They're playing out in our media.
It's true. It's true.
It's kind of like a little dystopian when you think about it too much.
It can be. Yeah.
But I'm curious, before we go full dystopian,
Yeah.
how does the CME index itself like tackle the AI bias?
Right.
Because AI is only as unbiased as the data it's trained on.
100%. Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, thankfully, they have sort of built that into their methodology.
Okay.
So, like we talked about, the Monk skin tone scale,
Mm-hmm.
which is inherently more inclusive.
Okay.
They also don't, they analyze like gender expression
Okay.
rather than just a binary male-female,
Right.
which allows for more nuance
Gotcha.
in terms of representation. And importantly, there's human oversight,
Okay, good.
like throughout the process.
Okay.
So, experts are reviewing the AI's findings.
Mm-hmm.
They're working with advocacy groups to make sure that things are accurate.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like robots deciding everything.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's a tool, right?
Exactly.
Like we said before,
Exactly.
to give us better information.
And I think, it's important to emphasize that it's ongoing.
Okay.
This isn't like we've got the perfect system, we're done. It's constantly being refined,
Yeah.
addressing any potential biases.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
So it's more about giving us the tools to make better decisions.
Exactly.
Rather than just like replacing human judgment altogether.
100%.
Which is good because, I mean, ultimately, data without action is kind of meaningless.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
It's like we're finally at this point where we can like actually quantify these things
Right.
that we've always kind of felt, in our gut. Like we could sense it,
Totally.
but we couldn't really back it up with data.
Right.
And
Exactly.
now we have the data.
Yeah. You can't,
It's there.
yeah, like you said, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Right? Once you see those stats, it's like, oh, wow.
Exactly.
Okay, this is really happening.
Exactly. And hopefully that leads to like, better decisions.
Yeah.
More conscious casting, more diverse voices, all of that.
100%. And I think, it goes beyond just being like politically correct, right? It's about brands reflecting their customer base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, research shows that like inclusive marketing is just good business.
Right. Like people want to see themselves. Right.
Exactly.
They want to feel understood.
Of course.
But it's not just about like calling out the bad stuff.
Right.
Like we can also highlight the good.
Yeah. Celebrate the wins,
Yes.
Like let's benchmark progress.
Yes.
And then use that to encourage others to do better.
Exactly.
Right. Like a little bit of
Yeah, a little competition never hurt.
exactly healthy competition.
Right. Like let's all be better.
Exactly.
Let's have this like race to the top
100%.
to be more inclusive.
Yep. I love that.
Okay, so for everybody listening out there,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway?
The takeaway is awareness, first and foremost.
Okay.
Right? Like this technology is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's already impacting so much, and it's only going to become more prevalent.
Yeah.
So being aware of that is huge.
Okay, so awareness.
Yeah.
And then what? What do we do with that awareness?
And then we take action.
Okay.
Right? Like we all have a role to play here, whether we're, the ones creating the marketing or just consuming it.
Right. Yeah.
Like we all have a part to play in making sure this technology is used for good.
So the next time you see an ad,
Yes.
really look at it.
Exactly.
Who was there?
Yeah. How are they being portrayed?
How do they make you feel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it authentic? Like all of those questions.
Right.
Because this is an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about AI mimicking what we've always done.
Yeah.
It's about doing it better.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
AI for good.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. That is some food for thought.
There you go.
And on that note, it's time to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.